Aloha from Maui, everyone. Stocks on Friday pulled back overall in lower volume. I had higher volume on the S&P 500 and New York Stock Exchange on Telechart. Investors Business Daily had lower volume. I'm always going to trust the volume that comes in at IBD over the volume that comes in on my Telechart. So with the lower volume pullback, overall, that was a pretty healthy day following the powerful move on Thursday. Was an extremely powerful move, but it was good. It would have been much nicer to see follow through and or the weaker session on Friday with a high day close. Either way, it was still a healthy overall lower volume pullback. And what's even nicer is that one of the best long signals in a long time triggered, unfortunately it's not the safest, but CSX. This is a can slim quality, my top perfect speculator scan quality stock. It was confirmed in my new high scan. It was confirmed in my high price stock with heavy volume scan, meaning that you can load up on this one no matter how much money you have. And it was also in my price volume BOP scan and then confirmed in my tertiary scan ultimately, which is it's the go-to scan that definitely solidifies that I'm going long a stock. So CSX is technically a 7% long position for Monday session. That means if you're underinvested here, you can throw 7% of your account capital in this stock, and this should work. It's already had one gap up. Now, it didn't run immediately the first time, but the second gap up, it's having an immediate follow through, and it's a fresh breakout, and it's not an extended breakout. The last one following the gap up became extended. If you got it exactly at the gap up, you're good. But right here, we're still good if you obey the stops. The first stop level I would use is 49.36. If it moves below there, I would be out half. The final stop would be the 50-day moving average. If it moves below the 50-day moving average, which is currently 47.64, I will be out of all of it. 50-80 is the limit order I would use. I would not use more than that, but what the beautiful thing is that this is a gap breakout from a long consolidation pattern. The consolidation pattern had low volume, and BOP is confirming the move. Very, very beautiful. So once again, if you're underinvested, you can finally start to push it with CSX. Also on the quality front, CBL. This is an extremely, extremely liquid stock. So even though it's $10, it's a higher quality stock. It looks like it's trying to hammer out a low after it's been rallying on heavier volume following the gap up on the 18th. Huge volume surge on Friday. Huge, as you can see, with BOP confirming with a surge to max green. CBL was in both of my primary volume surge scans, so it's a clear-cut 2% long position. It's not can slim quality. I want to be going long with the limit order at 10.09. First cut loss level, 981. Final cut loss level, 969, or if you want, you could use 958. In hindsight, I decided that I'm going to use 958, but 969 can also be used. But I want to see if that gap up fill can happen to completely knock me out since it's such a low risk position. And obviously, I'm looking for at least a 20% move back to the December highs. Should be able to easily, though, make a 10% plus move to the 200-day moving average minimum. But CBL, pretty good, solid setup with those support levels. If you're thinking that you can use a pullback all the way to here, you're crazy. This thing needs to move higher immediately with this volume and price confirmation, or else I wouldn't be out and move on. And then ACTA, this was a new long back here for me, and it worked great at first, but then it slowly rolled over and became a full sell for me here. It was still the right thing to do, even if I wouldn't have been out of all of it on this day. By using the low day as a final cut loss level, I would have been knocked out here. It gave me a rebuy position right back here, I believe, because BOP was moving lower whenever I bought it. And I announced it as a speculative long position because it's not a super high quality stock, but it is liquid. It is over 10. So I wasn't quite sure what to do with this, so it seemed more speculative with this chart pattern. But now as it builds out the base a little bit longer, and after the 2 pocket pivot point signal sessions and 3 sessions with BOP surging back to a green level, it's more of a higher quality name, and we have some pretty clear support levels. So ACTA is a quality ad signal. It was only in my price volume BOP surge scan, but I love the rounding out of this consolidation pattern. Love the lower overall down days, and love the big tall green bars with the positive bullish wicks here in the candle patterns. 1425 is going to be my limit order. First cut loss level 1395. Final cut loss level 1375. So it moves below 1395, out half, below 1375, out all of it. ACTA. Now hopefully I can get filled on these. The recent pattern with the last two sessions, and it hasn't really mattered because I'm fully invested, so I'm having to pick and choose what I buy in the margin and cash account. They're all basically gapping up. So if they're not gapping up and running whenever I do get filled, they're not moving higher immediately. CMLS is still fine, but I was filled on that one and it didn't do anything. STDY was filled in my margin account. Cash account was playing around with the cash too much, ended up canceling the order to STY so I could end up at least fulfilling a full position in FCSC. I have so little cash in the cash account, I couldn't take the full position that I wanted in STDY. So whenever it gapped up to 605 and ran to 620, I canceled the order, went ahead and filled FCSC since it was pulling back, allowing me a little bit better of a limit order around 218, but it didn't do well either. But still, at least I was able to get a full position FCSC in the cash account and basically a 80% full position of CMLS in the cash account. But in the margin account, those got filled along with STDY. But man, stocks like AAOI, they're gapping without me. COHR gapping without me. MTU gapping without me. Let me open this up really quick so I can see the other ones. FNBC, that third ad, or FBNC, that third ad signal right here, gapped up without me and ran. So there has been a few names out there that I'm going to try to get if I can raise cash. But intraday, only VSAR hit half a sell stop whenever it moved below this low a day here for me. And then ZAIS, even though it's fine on an end of day basis and I'm still tracking it, I was knocked out of all of it because when it lost green bop, I moved my final sell stop up here to 224 and it broke that intraday. And then DELT hit my first profit target. My first profit target was this high a day here, 228. Whoops, it hit a wire. 228, and as you can see intraday, it hit 229. So once the stock traded at 228, I was out of half my position. But besides those three spec names, there were no other sell signals hit. ONTX failed and was the only 100% sell signal, and in fact the only sell signal on an end-of-day basis, but I've already been knocked completely out as the stock has not been a smooth trending higher stock, so I constantly raised my stops each time it made a higher low, knowing that eventually this was probably going to happen with it since it wouldn't completely blast off. So with that being said, the quality names are still doing good, but even the spec names are doing well. So I'm going to continue to try to keep on getting long some names early if I can. PRAN is starting to round out and bottom here. It already has gone from being an oversold swing trade, and it's now turned into a momentum swing trade pattern following the gap up, holding those lows. Max green bop, volumes drying up, candle over candle pattern. I think I want to cheat a long position in my margin account, getting long limit order 293. First cut loss level 275, final cut loss level 267. It goes below 267. I want to be all out of PRAN. And then NVFI, I was already long this stock here, got knocked out of it here the day before it gapped up. But whenever it gapped up, as you can see here, the high was 263, so it wouldn't have hit my first profit target at 275 anyway before reversing. However, I would have been stopped out because I would have moved one of my stops up to the low of day 179 the very next day. But NVFY, I don't know why I keep saying I, is finding a bottom again at that same similar support level. Let me draw this really quick. Right here, and it's producing that candle over candle bullish pattern. Has max green bop since that gap up day, so it's pretty crystal clear. I want to, in my margin account, get long at 160. One cut loss level 146. It moves below 146, I'm out. But still, there's some great patterns out there. I'm fully invested, and I don't even have enough cash to put it to work. And our model is only under a neutral condition. It's not even under a buy signal yet. So once this thing switches to buy, it could get really fun. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you back here on Monday. Aloha.